Hello, welcome to the Port Huron statement. First, I would like to say that, the past month I haven't been producing many of these. I've been very dedicated to a series of different projects, one of them being the Dead Man's Switch, to make sure that if anything happens to me that, that there's no advantage to that. I guess that brings me, I wasn't planning, let's, so, over the past month, to say that I have come to uncover some deeply troubling things is an extreme understatement. In the course of developing a reasoning model, I enlisted the model to unravel the the nature of the threats that have been made against my person and unravel where they're coming from and why. And it's anyway, so then I guess because we're gonna go here. So I've come to discover some deeply troubling patterns, and I am not here to attack anyone's faith. I am really not at all. I am here to empower you, sincerely. So, I think most people are drawn to certain faiths because of a sincere search for meaning. What worries me, however, is when certain organizational practices are designed explicitly to exploit. This has brought me to what I guess we would call an architecture of unaccountable authority. And I'm talking about the concept of spiritual warfare and how it's been engineered as a psychological operation in order to manipulate people against their own prerogatives and their own best interests, and really against what it is to be a person. But so the warfare framing causes a binary us versus them tribalist thinking that allows for easy exploitation and the scapegoating, manipulations, the isolation, the excuses for the isolation. There's also an inherent spiritual discernment trap, as questioning is demonic or is sinful. Anything that is inherently true will never cower from questioning. Further, the sheer quantity of documented cases of this exact worldview being utilized in a premeditated way with the intention of financially exploiting the elderly and sexually exploiting children and continually concealing it is disturbing because, anyway, the use of fear, of damnation for any questioning and the imposition of a demonic presence whenever you question the authority. That is a troubling cycle that you will never see whenever you are questioning something that's true. Anything that's true will always encourage questioning, because through questioning we discover more clearly that truth. Anyone or anything that discourages you to question it is undoubtedly not true, is undoubtedly fraudulent. Anyway, so the historical context of this, I encourage you to look into the financial and look into the motivations. Consider to the gospel itself. The example of the Pharisees, the actual nemesis of Jesus, really, because they weaponize religion against the population. They are the impetus for killing Jesus, because Jesus challenges their exploitation of these ideas. They want to exploit the religion, while Jesus' goal is to promote an equal access to truth and a uniform altruism. So, if we look deeply into the Bible, we can even see precedents and prophecies of the exploitation of these concepts themselves. So please be critical of what people are telling you and why they are telling you it. And if they do not invite you to be critical of the things they are telling you, then they are almost certainly exploiting your ignorance. Why would anyone have a problem with you questioning the truth? Because questioning the truth is how you further confirm your understanding of the truth. This is, So, this is a classic hijack of ethics situation where natural moral instincts are being rewritten through indoctrination, the concept of secret knowledge and things like that, where, I understand that you're trying to be good, but you're not actually being good because you're not following the indoctrination paradigm, is what it is. So, the idea that you need to be taught ethics when you almost certainly naturally understand them, what it's really being done is they're being contorted and refocused in order to align with a narrative that is conducive to the existing profit and exploitation model. I have a bunch of data here, and I guess I'm realizing I'm not trying to be punitive. I'm trying to be helpful, because there is a real fraudulence to these ideas of even perfection. So, in the conception of communication as the ontological primitive, which is the theory that I'm developing, which shows a lot of harmony with quantum mechanics and classical phenomena, but what I guess I'm trying to say is human beings, the notion that they need to be controlled, otherwise there will be chaos, is inherently incorrect. The fact is that these control paradigms are what manifests the chaos. People don't need power to be wielded over them. They need to be empowered. And the cascade of chaos and turmoil and suffering that comes from the cognitive dissonance of forcing people to accept clearly and patently bullshit crap is profound. Further, it manifests in acting out in assorted different ways. Further, forcing people into relational situations because of communal isolation will always result in, we have an example of profound sexual exploitation and profound financial exploitation with an enormous amount of gaslighting and the offloading of accountability onto the, quote, demons. The fact of the matter is that it's hard to accept, but people are accountable for these things. And some of their motivations are difficult to understand, but the fact is this narcissistic thinking is demonic, essentially. But it's not an effervescent thing that comes from the atmosphere or comes from the devil. It comes from misplaced and poorly judged motivations. So it looks like what happened was in Homo erectus, so the early examples of humans were in these tribal organizations, 8 to 40, I'm throwing out numbers. But the point is it's pre-linguistic, so they don't have an effective way of communicating in a nuanced way. So what naturally happens is you have the alpha male emergence, evolution, where a singular individual will dominate to create coherence of endeavor. So if you're trying to take down a mammoth, you need one person to say, you go here, you go here, you go here, and it almost doesn't matter who that person is as long as everyone listens to them. So a metagenetic or epigenetic pressure emerged to create a gene expression dynamic that constricted empathic awareness. But this creates stupidity. Like, these people have the suppression of the insular cortex seems to be a part of this this character trait that was genetically advantaged in Homo erectus. But by lacking the empathy and therefore having the ambition and the animation and the conviction to take this role on, it also requires an ignorance. And so once language is developed, the narcissism becomes atavistic, but because it is profoundly ambitious, it is a pervasive presence that applies arbitrary hierarchy onto society in order to inflict the ambition and control. So because the atavistic narcissism manifests in limited cognitive capacities, it's like failing to develop object permanence. But the manifestations in brain scans are, again, largely related to the insular cortex. So what it is they lack the relational ability, so they can't understand things from a vicarious perspective in a complete way. So that prevents them from having a lot of awareness. But because of the gene expression, self-confidence, self-primacy stuff, it makes them ambitious, and so their entire life is really about self-aggrandization, self-elevation, and the accumulation of resources. So then when these people develop power, they need to further indoctrinate the rest of society in order to justify their interiorly supported supremacy, even though by fact it is contrary to reality. And so they then impose inferiority through resource scarcity and other mechanisms as a means to continually reinforce their consequential obsession with their own supremacy, despite the fact that the opposite is true. So we're in a society right now that has elevated a bunch of really stupid, shitty people, and they're exploiting your loyalty and the emotionality of wishing it wasn't true. And then they're offloading culpability onto things like demons. And demons take on a bunch of parallels. It's not just as actual demons. We can use a bunch of other terms. The idea is just offloading the culpability. And that mechanism is a form of appeal to authority in that don't trust what is real, trust what I tell you. That is a fallacy. What I'm telling you is trust what is real. And one easy way to tell what is real is what is real will not tell you not to question it. Please question my conclusions. I encourage you to. Have a good day.